just I hope you guys stay together for a long time.
Forever.
As myself and Mary have been. So best of luck to you guys.
Oh.
Yep.
Stephanie, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome you to our family. Kriss, you've always been with us. Stay with us forever. Have a long and happy marriage. Good luck.
All right, for both of you, I've prepared a little something. A wise man once told me, the best man's speech is only supposed to be as long as the groom can make love, so have a good time, everybody. In all seriousness, I want to thank both of you, Kriss and Stephanie, for having us all here tonight. It's a great event. It's really special, and I want to thank you for inviting me to speak on your special day. Stephanie, I can't say enough about everything you've done, how beautiful everything is, a phenomenal job of coordinating this and getting it together. It really is beautiful. Last night was phenomenal. Tonight's equally as beautiful, so thank you. I also want to add how beautiful you look tonight, and your bridesmaids as well look great. Take a minute to point out the mothers. Rose, you look lovely tonight. And Vivian, you truly do look beautiful tonight. Growing up, Kriss and I were really close. We were as close as brothers. Even though we were cousins, we were together all the time. And I want to take a minute to let you know that I consider you a brother and a best friend. Really do. I'm not. But even as close as we've been growing up, many of you don't know, Kriss had a tough time picking a best man for the wedding. He first went out, and he asked his funniest friend to be his best man. He said no. So then he asked his richest best friend to be his best man. He said no. So he went to his funniest friend to ask to be his best man. He said no. Then he asked me, and after turning him down 3 times, I finally said okay. I want to point out also the co-best men tonight, Cliff Moten, my dad, and Uncle Wayne Moten, who have already spoken. In a setting, we're surrounded by so many friends and family that helped form who we are today. I figured I'd share a couple stories from when we were growing up. One of my favorite stories from growing up was the time when we would go over to Gary Kay's house. And Gary's over at table 7 for those that don't know Gary.
All right, Gary.
We'd go over his house on a Friday afternoon. We'd ride our 3-wheelers. We wouldn't come back until Sunday. And the only time we'd come back in between is when we had to refuel or get some food to take back to camp. We had this little fort over on a lake, and it was just a great place, a great time to grow up. And one day we're back refueling. We're in the garage, and I look over at Kriss, and Kriss is standing in front of this big cardboard box. And he has this wide eyes and this look of astonishment, almost like a kid on Christmas morning. What the heck is he at? I walk over, and he's looking down at a nice big box of vintage Playboys. Wow. We got into some mischievous things going on. We looked at each other. The first thing we knew what we were doing with those. Next thing you know, the fort was covered in wallpaper. The most expensive wallpaper you've ever seen. So, Gary, thank you for helping us take that step into manhood. We appreciate that.
Good young man.
You know, Kriss and I also always had each other's backs. And an example of this was we were at a party in high school over in Hudson. And boy, the Sun Country wine coolers were really going down nice that night. I think Kriss had a 2-liter bottle all to himself. I think grape was it maybe that night? Or fruit punch? I don't know. Unfortunately, that whole 2-liter also came up shortly before my mom came and picked us up. So I said, you know, hey, just stick close behind me. Stay behind me. She'll never be able to see me swaying. So he's behind me, and I'll remember this day. There's Kriss with both hands lashed down to my belt, just trying to keep himself upright. Didn't take rocket science to figure out what we were up to, so we both got into some hot water over that. You know, there were certainly some tough times growing up, and especially for Kriss and Viv as a young mom. What you took on, it was an insurmountable task, and what you did with it was just really, really special. You did everything you could to keep it together. You really, from the bottom of my heart, you raised a phenomenal man, and you've taught him everything that he needs to know in order to be a great husband and a great father. And that's commending you. You did a really great job.
Thank you.
When things were tough, maybe you might know, Kriss also spent several years with her grandma and gramps, and became very close with his grandma and gramps, as we all were. And another story I have is with Gramps. And I will preface this by saying Kriss did have a tendency at times growing up to be a little whiny when he didn't get his way. He may still be that way, I don't know. And this mixed with Gramps' rough demeanor was sometimes a little bit oil and water. But so Gramps, Kriss is about my son's age. Keller, raise your hand over there. He was about 5, 6 years old. And Gramps figured, okay, well, hey, it's a hot day. Kriss has been good. I'm gonna take him out and go get a nice ice cream cone. So they go to the local ice cream stand, and Gramps splurges, and he's up the stand, and he asks for an ice cream cone with sprinkles, and he brings it back to Kriss, covered in those red, white, and blue sprinkles, and he gives it to Kriss, and Kriss reacts with "But I don't like sprinkles."
Wrong thing to say to
If anybody know Gramps, he didn't take this very kindly. So he told him, hey, tough shit. That's what you're getting. Kriss says, no, I'm not eating it. So Gramps did what he does best. He took the ice cream cone and shoved it in his face.
Yes, he did.
That was Kriss's lesson in don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Gramps, the only way that he could, Sorry. We all miss Gramps a lot.
Yeah.
He certainly had his own way. But, we know that they're here tonight. They're looking down on us. They're really proud of who you've become and who you're marrying, and they're enjoying this as everybody is. He's really, really happy. I know. So with those stories, I'd like to add that yesterday, Stephanie, the world, all the single men in the world, they lost another beautiful catch. All the single ladies in the world, not much has changed. Everyone, please join me. Raise your glasses. The new bride and groom, Kriss and Stephanie. Steph, may they live long, laugh often, and love always. Salute. All right. Good stuff. I'd like to hand the mic now over to Angela. Would you like to say a couple words?
Okay, I'm just reading this because you know me, I'm never prepared for anything. But Steph, I remember the day you still remember the day you came from the hospital. You became part of my life. You lived with us and you were part of our family. We've enjoyed so many times together.
Ouch.
I just want you to know how much I love you. And you have 4 beautiful children, and now you have a husband to make your life complete. She is so happy. I've never seen her so happy in her life since you've become part of her life. And I'm just so thrilled for her to know that she has, just love and all kinds of things to look forward to with you.
Raise your glass. Another toast.
Cheers.
Cheers. All right, we're going to move forward. All right, we're going to cut the cake now. So we'll get the cake cutting started.
Oh, Mary. They're going to do the cake cutting.
Okay.
Looks like the top half is gone already. Look at it.